Mates, thank you so much for joining us. Today we are joined by one of the firebrands, Guspe. We like to refer to him as a maverick solely because he challenges their establishment and he has come out with flying colors. Nimrod TT Mbha, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, good to be back home. This feels like Sakaya.
Always.
Yeah,
always.
And your introductions are always like a cut above the rest.
But it is true because you look at a person, and I think what is interesting for me is that I've decided to live ngendlela engifuna ukuphila.
Yeah.
If I admire a person as I admire you,
yes,
there must be a truth in that admiration because it affects me as well.
True.
You become what I want as well.
True.
And how you work, your work ethic reflects my admiration for you.
Oh no, thank you. And I think what you're saying is absolutely correct. You paint your own canvas in life. And you choose the type of colors that you want to reflect that canvas.
Yes.
And so I've decided, Guti, I'm gonna stick to that. It works for me, and I'm not gonna live according to other people's rules or society's norms. Yeah, just go against the grain for once in your life, and you never know.
No, absolutely. I think it's the fear of really being magnificent.
Yeah.
That you have to fit in somehow.
Yeah. Fear is I think is the most dangerous thing to any human being, because you fear what you don't know. So what I always tell people is just give yourself a chance at faith, because it's the substance of the unseen. You'll never know until you've actually been in that space.
But the world has conditioned us to live within particular confines.
Yeah.
And it has made space for fear as well. And the fear, and not even reverence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even reverence. I remember Upak, just to digress a bit, Upak, when he was sentenced to go to jail by being accused of he sexually molested.
Yes,
which he did not.
which he
I
actually
like what
didn't.
he is.
Yeah.
And I like what he says to the judge. He says, the only problem la, ukuthi ngizivumele mina ukuthi ngehlise istandard sami to be found amongst these people that have done this. When you only see me because of who I am. That's why you want to take me away. That was
it's powerful.
Amazing.
But actually he actually alludes to the power of association. It's everything. Who you associate with actually determines your journey in life. I've learned that. Yeah. Sure.
More recently, you've been working on a great show, No Somizi.
Oh yes.
I think the timing was beautiful. There were times when Somizi wanted to do this project and it did not take off. But I think the collision, idols. It was inevitable that you can get to that level. How do you fit into that whole mix?
Okay, so Somizi is actually my best friend, and so how I fit in is I'm in his life. So the show talks about and follows his life. And I think the reason why his show did not air back then is that it wasn't his time. And we always have to respect God's time for our lives. I mean, they had shot the show and completed it, but it just wasn't his time for it to go on air. And so, through the years between then and now, he's matured as a person, as a brand, as a personality. And I think he was ready to have the show now with everything else that's happening. He's able to handle all the attention that's coming towards him, all the media attention, all the social attention and so forth. And how I fit in is because I've been there with him through thick and thin. I mean, I've seen him at his lowest. And now it's beautiful for me to see him getting up to his peak. He hasn't reached his peak yet. And I always tell him that, Uti, this whole concept of the sky is the limit, I'm very much against, because how do you know that the sky is the limit? Who are you to tell me that the sky is the limit? There is something beyond the sky, and you can only discover it by living life.
If someone says the sky is the limit, right? Then there must be by common sense and deduction that there is something beyond the sky.
Right.
And that's the sky being the limit to that thing.
Right. So that limit is just a level.
Yeah.
On to the next level.
Absolutely.
So for me, I don't subscribe to that notion which the sky is the limit, because no one has proven it. And so I always believe that you are only as great as the wings you are willing to carry.
Absolutely.
And that for me should be beyond.
Injani Black Brain, I see you doing good work. There's the show that I've begun following now.
Yes.
This talented young lady. I saw her and spoke to her. She was in Minanawe.
Yes.
Or Tina Sobabile or something.
Yes.
That movie.
Yes. Yes.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's brilliant. She's got the show on SABC One, Diary something.
Tandega's Diary.
Tandega's Diary.
Yes.
I've begun following that show, and you guys are responsible for
Yes, we created the show. You know, the beauty about Black Brain is it's almost an institution where we unearth great talent. I mean, your Trevor Kumbis, your Kumbas,
yes.
This lady that you're referring to, Nomsa. We've managed to, Abubusi Lurai, we've managed to create stars from nothing. And because the shows are so great and they are proudly South African, I think the reason why a lot of people watch our shows is because they can relate. So what we do tonight is we make sure the storylines are actually South African. I learned and then try and mix it. It's easy to tell our stories because we've got a wealth of stories to tell in South Africa.
You're one of the few companies that I truly respect in the way your ethics and running a business. And I'll tell you why. We were there shooting a commercial for another channel, which you guys were responsible for.
Yes.
From the time in Baga Imod, and I remember I forgot my bag.
Right.
And she came and said, excuse me, sir, must I run and fetch your bag?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can. This is no, I really don't mind.
Yeah.
And then you get to the costume guys, the wardrobe guys.
Yeah.
Sanwana put Nimrod. Can you please try this on? We try to get, to the process your makeup, to
up
please
to
may
shooting.
I touch you, to Umandla welcoming me on set. Ladies and gentlemen, Nimrod Nkosi, Branims, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And this is what we would like from. Do you know what I mean? That sense of professionalism that is due to people who deserve it.
100%. So you must understand one thing, Nimza. You've earned your stripes. So all of these people look up to you.
Yes.
And just for you to be in their space is an honor enough. And the role that you play in that particular commercial is immense because without you, that commercial won't be complete. So it is their duty to make sure that from the minute upaga up to the minute you get to your car ohamba, your experience is the same. Respectful, dignity, because you are there to deliver a service, which is a talent that you've got. So we have to respect that. And that's the one thing that we tell all our crew members, you have to respect everyone that you work with, irrespective of that title or who they are in society.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into, but the Black Brain is doing well.
Oh yeah, no, Black Brain is flying high. We are partnering with production companies in the US now. Okay. We've just come back from a trip, Atlanta, just to partner with a few production companies there. Had a few very successful meetings, so there'll be a lot of collaborations. I think South Africa, we've represented South Africa well in terms of e-content. It's time for us to go abroad and showcase what South Africa can produce.
Absolutely. I think on this matter, real estate.
Yes.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been doing immensely well. Well done to you. And you started it with a certain focus.
Yes.
And a certain outcome.
100%.
And you've been doing very well. How have you been in that space?
So I just need to explain this journey in real estate. I've always loved real estate. From Pimville. Used to walk around the Kasi just looking at beautiful homes and admire them. And I always told myself, when I'm ready, I'm going to get into the space and service the interests of Andabamnyam. So then what happened was, after we celebrated 10 years as Black Brain, I felt I had achieved enough in terms of putting the brand out there. And I was then diagnosed with acute meningitis. So I had to spend 7 days in hospital. That 7 days changed my life, because it gave me an opportunity to sit back and reflect on who I am and what is my real purpose in this life. When I left that hospital, when I was released, and obviously I made a promise to myself that I will not spend a minute of my life doing things that I'm not passionate about. And so real estate is something that I've always been passionate about. So I called Abumandla and Abudu, all my partners, and I had a directors board meeting, and I said to them, guys, this is time. I'm following my passion in real estate. It's either you're with me or you're not. But this is a decision that I've made whilst I was in hospital, and I'm going full force into it. I don't care what anyone has to say or opinions I want to about what I'm about to do, and I got into it. I have nothing to lose but everything to gain. And I got into the space, created the name, God just blessed me with the name because, you know, when you apply for Makama, CIPC, you have to give them three names.
Yeah.
So that if the first one doesn't, I only gave them one. And I said to them, if this name doesn't get approved, then I know this was not meant to be for me. So I phoned my accountant and I told her, please can you register this name? And she said to me, we need 2 other names. And I said to her, those 2 other names are Black Real Estate, Black Real Estate, Black Real Estate. If I cannot get Black Real Estate, then I'm certain beyond any reasonable doubt, this is not meant for me. In 2 weeks, the name was secured. It was meant for me, and I'm running in the space.
How did they react though?
They told me, it can't be done. We have to submit different names, even if it's different variations. So Real Black Estate or Black Real Estate or Estate Black Real. and I said to them, these are my 3 names: Black Real Estate, Black Real Estate, Black Real Estate. Please just respect my wish. If the name is not available, I'll humbly walk away.
Abomandla, when you told them the path you wanted to take?
The person who took the biggest knock was Umandla, because so he felt like I'm ripping apart from the relationship or pulling apart rather. And so I explained to him, Uti, I've been supporting his dream of producing great shows and marketing it and being behind the scenes. It was time for me to take up the spotlight that's been waiting for me in this space. Remember, real estate in South Africa is run by 90% of white people.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a personal thing. 10% is black.
Yeah.
So for me, and the name,
which is a complete reversal when it comes to the music.
No, or the music. Oh, wow, that's it. So it seems like 90% is the number. So if you look at South Africa, South Africa's got a population of 52 million, and of that 52 million, 90% is black, which means 46 million are black. And you're operating in a space where 90% is white, and yet 90% of the population is black. And so we have about 40,000 real estate agents in South Africa. And of that 40,000, 36,000 are white and 4,000 are black. And of those 4,000, 60% work for white-owned agencies. So it even distorts the figures. It's unbelievable at how imbalanced the space is. So I went into it with an end goal in mind. I'm very particular about what I'm going to do in this space. I'm very clear. And I can see all these real estate companies are feeling the pinch because I'm getting calls, I'm getting emails. They want to partner with me, they want to associate with me. And I'm not interested because they didn't give me the opportunity when I started. And now that they can see that there's traction and people are warming up to this black real estate concept, it's only now that they're going, would like to set up meetings with you, would like to do partnerships, would like to collaborate. And all I'm saying to them is, I'm not interested.
Perhaps we've always been pushed from one area to another of residence, you know?
Yeah.
But we've always come up tops in terms of beautifying izindlu esihlala kuzo.
Yeah.
So we are a people that love real estate because we know what if value yendlu noma ngifake i-stop nonsense nama big window, you know?
Yeah.
But then we had to go to another level in saying, okay, now that I've done this for Ngayenza, so
what's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
What could I gain from the amount of energy that I've put in this house?
100%.
So it's only fitting and it's only right that a company like yours then comes and talks to me, the black person.
100%. So for me, you know, our mantra is we are not apologetic about servicing the interests of black people in South Africa. Call it racist, call it whatever. Don't play the race card with me because all I'm saying is I'm not apologetic about servicing the interests of my own first before anyone else. That doesn't mean I don't have white clients, but it just means that I prioritize my black brothers and sisters first. So when it comes to a queue, they will come first in line because apartheid is bulel. And how do we fix apartheid without complaining? It's by being in the space and conquering the space. So for me, my dream is to one day have a situation where black real estate services are my interest. I have a bunch of highly qualified black bond originators. I have a team of highly competent black conveyancers and attorneys. And hell, why don't we have a black-owned bank? Call it the black bank if you want to. But for me, it's about making sure that you circulate the money within. Why must we apologize? Other races are doing it. The Jews do it very well. Very well. The Indians do it exceptionally well, and they're not apologetic about it. So Tina Shlulwa yini, when we are 90% of the population, do you know how much we contribute to the GDP of this country? But yet we're not supporting each other. This whole buy black concept of let's buy black once a month, I'm totally against it. Why must you buy black once a month like you're celebrating a birthday or Father's Day? Buy black every day if you can and when you can.
We're going to continue on Mr. TT Mbha just after the break.